going to go through some quick notes on the difference between science and technology. When I go through this, you should be filling in and working on the Google Doc that comes with this. Just type your answers in there. Everyone's got their own copy. Should be a real easy A for the first big lesson, first lesson for this. So first thing we're going to talk about is the T-charts. We'll be doing this a lot, but on your document you have 15 or 10 spaces, 15, I can't remember. I think it's 15. So you're going to write things that you think are science on the science column and things that you think are technology in the technology column. For example, science, one of my favorites, that we know about, is going to be physics. Of course, physics is the mathematical reasoning and explanation of why everything works. And a lot of physicists use one of these to help them. So there you go. You got 2 free points right there. Again, list items that you think are going to be science, and then things that you think are going to be technology. Put those in there. If you want, you can pause the video so you can do that. I'm going to keep going. So now that we've got our list of what we think is science and what we think is physics or technology, what is the difference between science and technology? What do you think the difference is? Write it down on your paper. Answer this in your Google Doc. What is the difference between science and technology? And we're going to come and figure that out through the rest of these notes. If you want, you can pause the video right now. Give yourself a chance to do the writing. I'm going to keep going. All right. Before we can start comparing science and technology, we have to actually understand what the definition is of science and what the definition of technology is. According to our textbook, science is the process of trying to understand the world. So it's steps that we use. It's trying to learn or understand what is going on around us. And we can put that into a key term. The key idea about science is we are trying to study something. We're trying to learn about it. We're trying to gain information and knowledge. Of course, this is where you're going to be filling in your Google Docs. Put your answers, complete the sentence in your Google Docs, and you'll follow along as we go. So again, science is the process of trying to understand something, trying to learn from it, gain knowledge. Then we have technology. The textbook says that technology is the use of knowledge gained through science to make new products or tools that people can use. Now, way back in the time, there was this little fella named Otuk the caveman, and he was a scientist. He was a scientist because he watched and observed a stick burning in the fire. When the fire went out, he observed that that end of that stick could be used to write on the wall. So he's writing on the wall, drawing his little caveman pictures. That stick became technology. And now, in the future, we have this fancy digital that connects to the other technologies. So Otuk used his knowledge that he learned from studying the science of the stick to create the technology of the pencil. So our key idea about technology is it's to use something that we learned. Once we learn something in science and we start to use it, that usage becomes technology. It can be anything as simple as a stick to a high-tech digital communication electric mess with the board pen. It can be a thought process. Technology doesn't necessarily have to be something that you put your hands on. Technology is using the knowledge that we gained to make products, tools, or processes people can use. So if we combine these two concepts into one simple statement, it is this. First I study it, then I use it. Before we can use anything, we have to think about it. We have to learn about it. So put it in our brain. Then once it's in our brain, we can actually use it and handle it and do something with it. That's the technology. First, I study it to be science. Then I use it to become technology. And with that, we can now understand the main difference between science and technology. Science, we think and learn about it. Technology, we use it. All right. So the last thing that's on your paper that you have to fill in and actually do for this is our reflection question. Based on what we've learned, you can go back and look at your lists. Some of the things that you've listed as science may be in actual technology. Some of the things in technologies you may have put as it could be a science. But I want you to think about these. I want you to determine if there's something in your list or something that you can think of that's not on your list that can be used as both science and technology. When you do this, I want you to use complete sentences. I want you to tell me why or why not something can be both science and technology. If it's not, explain why. Give me examples. I should not see a single sentence. This is sentences, plural. I should see examples and details to prove your claim. And I'm going to give you a kicker here. Depending on how you prove it depends on whether this is, it is or is not a true statement. Your explanation will determine the truth of whether something can be science and technology at the same time. I hope you have a great time, and I'll see you on the internet.